in the balance of the tournament and the balance of the section of the bracket that they were in and the teams that they've beaten and the way that they've played Italy from the debacle of 2018, the non-qualification under Venturi, to what Mancini has built. It would have been a travesty on today's game alone had they not won that, because they, after getting a bloody nose a couple of minutes in, completely dominated the game, had a great shape, they passed it well, they switched to play well, they dropped Verratti back in, and Chiellini would go a little wider and Bonucci would go a little wider, and they could start phases of possession. They were excellent under pressure. We can talk about England a bit because maybe they're partly down to this, but I thought Italy were absolutely brilliant once again. And I thought his changes on 54 and 55 minutes, albeit he needed to make changes, were excellent.
I think they were very patient, a little bit maybe too patient, especially the first half, where they were going around, kind of tiki-taka, nobody in the middle of the as a forward. I say, well, if they keep on doing that, they don't surprise England. They don't really create chances. Only the Chiesa shot was to put on the advantage of the Italians. But otherwise, we didn't see much. But I think psychologically, they were ready when they came back from the dressing room, and maybe with the talk of Mancini, to push a bit more forward and to give them more pressure on the English defense. And little by little, surely they get psychologically the advantage. And we knew that at some point they would score a goal. That was impossible to not see that happening. And it happened. And then, again, they went a step forward in the way that psychologically they were in front of comparing to the English.
I suppose the argument is, if Italy were in such great control of this game, why did they let it go to penalties?
Because England, we've seen throughout the tournament, they've been very resolute defensively. And we saw that almost immediately after they scored. I mean, there was times when you had Harry Kane on the top of the 18, you had Sterling on top of the 18. It was almost as if, wait a minute, we're not even going to let our attacking players stay up. We're going to do everything we can to try to defend this one-goal lead because they've done so well defending. And yeah, it was a shame. But then Italy had to be patient because they knew they had 11 guys that they had to go against, and they didn't have that big man up front to where they could then play a little bit more direct. So, as Frank said, it got a little ticky-tacky, I think, in midfield, and they were trying to find the opportunities. And a couple times when Chiesa got on a little bit of a run and beat somebody and, tried to take a shot, but the patience was there. I mean, I was surprised in the extra time that both teams were almost content to go to penalties. Sure. I understand there's so much at risk, but...
Well, I don't think Italy were, Kasey, but I think there was a sense that England was so defensive as the game went on that it just became difficult to play a speculative pass.
Right.
And so Italy were trying to prod and look. But one of the interesting things was the changes was, I think Mancini realised that Ciro Immobile is what you'd call, for the main, a penalty box striker.
Yeah.
Right. And they were not creating the chances. So he made the changes and brought on a different type of player. Players that would try and pull the centre-backs out of position and they try and get runners from different angles. And that started to open up a little bit more space for them because they were not getting as many balls into the box for Immobile as they would have wanted. And part of the reason for that, because England's back three, effectively, from 15, 20 minutes into the game was just a back five.
It was a back eight.
Yeah, it was. It was a back five with a load of white jerseys in front of them. And that defensive nature made it difficult for Mancini's team. And then he had to go to the drawing board and think, how can I change this?
Right.
And what players do I need to change? And I thought the ones that he did change were perfect and they were a little bit more fluid. And then when Locatelli came on, he added an extra threat from deeper position, and not forgetting the two golden oldies at the back.
Yeah.
They were, when they were asked to defend, absolutely bloody marvellous. Chiellini and Bonucci, really, really good.
I really think that Gareth Southgate was how do you say, he couldn't find the way, and he thought that the first half was really what he wanted to see and what would happen until the end. Though that the fact that they scored very quickly a goal, so that they can be defensive and they can hold it until the end of the game, and Italy won't find a solution.
Right.
Which was what we saw for 45 minutes, and with only Chiesa chance. But you have to realize that the best tool for the Italian is their offensive way of thinking the game now. Before it was defensive, but now they know how to change the game, change the rhythm, put a new personal to surprise. But he didn't see that coming. He didn't guess that, and that's why.
But that's naive, isn't it? To think that Mancini would do nothing in that second half.
No,
and
the
just
thing
hope
is,
that
I think
something would
it's for him. He has only one way to think: his team.
Right.
The defense well, where in fact the first goal showed that it's completely the opposite. It doesn't matter if you have only three forward players, as long as Trippier and Shaw comes up and one crosses and the other one scores, it shows that the animation of your football will be the solution of it. But he had only one thought about what he wanted to do during that tournament. It worked, but he wasn't able to change it half time.
Yeah.
He didn't see that coming.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.